steal it or borrowed it? It's indispensable. That sounds more like a threat. You can only kill somebody once. You'd better do it now.
We're back. And I'm eating a little peppermint thing here. I don't want to offend Myles L. Berman.
No, that's all right. We deal with a lot of chemicals in the breath, so that's something that's common for what we do. Yeah. And it won't help you either, by the way, Wally.
You know, I'll bet you a lot of people. Oh, by the way, this is Myles L. Berman, in case you haven't noticed. Superstar. He's the DUI defense attorney that you've heard about on our show and, of course, on KBC Radio. And anywhere else are you on?
KLSX, we're on. Right. We also...
Tom Like is my enemy.
Oh, Tom's a great guy. You can't say anything bad about Tom in front of me.
Yeah, but he and I are enemies. So don't mention my name to him. You see...
No, why would I do that? No, you told me.
Because of me, I got him fired at KFI.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I didn't know it was because of you.
He did some bad things about me on KFI.
Oh.
Said some things. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into it, but I led to his...
Tom, if you're watching, you're my bud.
Tom, if you're watching... Anyway, we have Myles Berman here, and he is the Top Gun DUI attorney, and I have this in my mouth, this mint. Do you notice that if you've been drinking and all of a sudden you see a car behind you with a red light, you'll pop a mint in your mouth. Does that do any good?
You know what? Not only does it not do any good, but sometimes it actually makes it a little worse. Not just a mint, but with the liquid breath freshener. Many times people take a breath freshener and somehow think that the alcohol in a breath freshener will create a measurement on the machine and somehow it'll help them with their case. But it really won't, because when you take alcohol or a mouthwash that has alcohol in it, the alcohol actually dissipates after a short period of time. So it really doesn't help. Also, another thing, people think that if they delay the breath test, they choose a blood test because it's later on in time and therefore the alcohol level will be lower. While that's true, that really doesn't help either, because when they have a blood test at a certain time, all they do is relate it back to the time of driving. Right. So that doesn't matter either.
Okay. Now, since I've been having you on the show, Myles Berman, we have had people mention you in my fan mail. And one of them said you should have your own show.
Thank you. They can actually email us at DUIlaw@topgundui.com. DUIlaw@topgundui.com.
Okay. And the phone number to call is 888 area code 4, and then you just dial in Top Gun on your dial there, and it's of course toll free. Another fan wanted to know, you could have done anything else in law. Why did you choose DUI?
Just so happens we got very good at this. Drunk driving is the most common crime charge in the United States today. It is also the most complicated. So if you can win a drunk driving case, actually anything else, it's even more complicated than a homicide case. Prosecutors, police officers, judges, they would rather be involved in a homicide case, especially judges and prosecutors. They'd rather hear a homicide or prosecute a homicide case than a drunk driving case, because they are so complicated, you have to know what you're doing. And that's why it's very important that when you hire somebody, that you know that they're an expert in the area, that they're familiar with this, what their reputation is in the community for fighting and winning cases. You know, most lawyers who represent people in drunk driving cases have no business setting foot in a criminal court. They'll take the client's money and they'll plead him guilty without even looking at the police report. That's a horrible way to practice. We fight every case. We fight the DMV. We're very successful in court and with the DMV, and that's why people come to us.
Well, you know, I had another viewer who wrote me and mentioned you and said that he had been to a party and had only 3 beers. And believe it or not, you know, some people cannot absorb alcohol in their body as well as others can. He had 3 beers during the night. He gets pulled over and arrested. 3 beers.
He most likely took a portable breath test machine, and assuming that he's older than 21,
yeah.
People should absolutely refuse to take the portable breath test machine on the street. It's a voluntary machine. It is completely inaccurate. Now, some agencies are actually being a little tricky, and they're actually using a portable breath test machine as the main breath test machine. But if a police officer asks you to blow into a preliminary alcohol screening test before you were arrested, absolutely refuse. You have the right to refuse that test, and you should refuse that test.
Our time is gone. Thank you very much, Myles Berman. And he'll be back very soon, so if you want to, you can be the one to start the Myles Berman fan club, okay?
Because friends don't let friends plead guilty.
That's right. 888 area code 4 Top Gun. That's the number to call for Myles L. Berman, Top Gun, DUI defense attorney. If you have a DUI that you're facing, or you know somebody who is, he's the man to call. Okay, Wally George here. I'll be right back with some final words. Stay